I'm Molly Rapert. I'm an associate professor in the Sam M. Walton College of Business, and I also serve as the director of our Center for Teaching Effectiveness. I'm here today to talk about two sections of marketing management. It's the capstone course that marketing majors and minors take at our university. While this course is taught at a wide variety of schools around the nation, we do things a little bit differently, and I brought in 7 experts to tell you about it. But first, let's get to know them. Cole.
Yes, I'm Cole Walker. I graduated December 2019. I live in Northwest Arkansas, and I am a marketing lead for an e-commerce company called One Stone.
Sophia.
I am Sophia Bailey. I graduated from the Walton College in May 2016, and I currently live in Cincinnati, Ohio, where I'm working for General Mills as the trade planning lead for our cereal and snacks businesses on the Kroger account.
Connor.
Yeah, hey guys, I'm Connor Phlox. I'm graduated from the Walton College back in 2017, and I currently live in Washington, D.C. I work for Deloitte Consulting as a management consultant for various federal government clients.
Anne.
Hey everyone, my name is Anne Claire Gatos, and I graduated from Walton in May 2020. I currently live in Northwest Arkansas, and I work at the United Way of Northwest Arkansas, where I'm an engagement specialist and I fundraise.
Great. Madeline.
Hello, everyone. My name is Madeline Mays. I graduated in May of 2019. I'm currently in Minneapolis, Minnesota, where I'm in my second role with General Mills within the sales division as a trade planning associate.
Luke.
Hi, I'm Luke Rapert. I graduated from Walton this spring 2020, and I'm in Fayetteville right now, about to start law school in a couple weeks. So,
Great. Jace.
And I'm Jace Rapert. I graduated from the business school from Sam Walton in 2018. Right now I live in Washington, D.C., working for Senator John Bozeman, and I help advise on any national security, military, veterans, and homeland security issues.
Thank you, and thank all of you for joining us during a very busy time. So we'll start by talking about how we frame up the class, and we do this every summer by getting input from several hundred executives, and Cole will tell you about this crowdsourcing effort.
Yeah, and as many of you students know, textbooks are old and outdated, and a lot of times even the most recent textbook is using information from a year or two previous. What I found really unique and cool about this course is it uses crowdsourcing and surveys from over 300 experts, so that what you're getting is up to date and current and not old and from years back like textbooks. It's one of the things that makes this class so unique, but also so useful and actionable going forward into your careers.
Thank you, Cole. So the 300 plus executives set the tone and the basic parameters from the class, but it really takes 15 amazing executives that help keep the class running for the 16 weeks of the semester. And Sophia will tell us about this advisory board concept that runs the class.
So the advisory board members decide on key topics, serve as guest speakers, send articles, they'll share sources and resources, collaborate on corporate projects, and team teach topics. One of my favorite elements of this is the corporate projects. When I was a student, we did a corporate project with Helen of Troy and created a fun social media marketing campaign and pitched it to the Helen of Troy executives. And as an advisory board member, I've helped the class with some General Mills oriented corporate projects. So it just really helps provide a glimpse into what real world marketing jobs will present you with.
Great. So Sophia mentioned several ways that the 15 members of the advisory board contribute every single week. The articles that they contribute, they're really the foundation, and Connor and Anne will tell you more about that.
Yep, definitely happy to do so. So the articles is one of my favorite parts about your class. I mean, in a world where business is like changing all the time, it's dynamic, technology's moving. Cole mentioned it earlier, but textbooks are static and they're staying the same. So your articles are an awesome way where we're getting fresh information all the time. I know you have executives that are sending you the articles that we're reading each week about what's going on in the news, what's relevant. I mean, on one hand, I remember my senior year, applying for jobs, and twice those articles coming up and making me sound way smarter than I am. One day I'm talking about, Amazon using drones for distribution, and then I'm talking about some Walmart vendor exec's new take on, the methodology of marketing. And then nowadays, even in my current job, I think it's given me a new excitement and appreciation for reading articles, knowing what's going on in the world, subscribing to newsletters. So it really was a big crux for me of having this turning point of realizing the value and just the cool aspects of, what's going on in the news day to day and how that plays out in my current job.
Thank you, Connor. And Anne?
Yes, so just like you said, each week you'll be assigned materials to read. And my favorite thing was that these materials are all timely and personalized, because most of the time you'll read articles that were published that year, that month, and sometimes even that week. And these readings encouraged me to be flexible when adjusting to what the advisory board members might send in, because the industry changes so quickly. But 100% of these readings are applicable to what you will do when you graduate. And in that same way, based on the career interest of the students in her class, Dr. Rapert adjusts these articles to fit those interests. So for example, a number of students and I were interested in nonprofit marketing, so Dr. Rapert brought in Jesse Lane, who's the founder of Branches Mission Lab, which helps nonprofits market, and he came and spoke to us. And then she also had several articles that related to the nonprofit industry that directly tied into what I ended up doing today.
It's definitely one of my favorite parts of the class. I talk about other people like you co-creating the class with me, but I should emphasize that I am co-learning with the students every day. When we lead up to a class, I have 25, 30 articles that executives have sent me, and I'm reading those for the first time along with the students when I'm selecting which ones that they'll read. So it keeps me on top of topics and helps keep me accountable to my students. So another big part of the class is a corporate project, and Cole will tell you about the project he did his semester.
Yeah, so my semester we teamed with Field Agent and Kellogg's to use Field Agent's data to help give Kellogg's actionable information. And so we were able to use two of the best companies in Northwest Arkansas to not only give something interesting, but to give something that they are going to use at Kellogg's. And we presented our learnings and all the data that we found to Kellogg's executives at the end of the semester. And it was cool feeling like not only, again, was it interesting, but it was useful and it mattered at the end of the semester. And it's something that it learns you how to really pay attention to what you're doing with your time, even going forward into your first job out of college. It was really special.
Thanks, Cole. So every semester, I try to drop what I didn't think worked well the prior semester, what I would consider the weak link, and add something new. And a couple of years ago, I added an Instagram account. And Madeline will tell you how this works.
Yeah, so the Instagram account, I loved it because it was a way less formal and less intimidating platform to connect current students with both former students and other marketing executives. Having a conversation under the comments of an Instagram post is a lot more fun than actually chatting in an email chain. So on this Instagram, Dr. Rapert posts relevant articles, relevant content, but my favorite series was a sort of day in the life video series where former students would film videos of their day in the office. So this was my first time seeing, oh, there's cereal bars in these offices. People are wearing t-shirts. They're having fun gatherings. I think it was my first time really realizing, okay, I think corporate America is for me. So sign me up. And it was just an awesome chance to get insights into the real world that you don't get anywhere else.
I know for most of the students who are viewing this that might be stepping into my class, they may think of this as 16 weeks that we'll have together. But I think the Instagram really represents that I view these 16 weeks as our starting point. And I think it's a great way to connect my Rapert marketing family with my current set of students. So I love all of your participation in that. So another aspect of the class that I love, it's probably my 6 favorite days of the semester, are when we have guest speakers that come in to share their expertise. And Luke will talk to you about how this works.
Yeah, so we have a number of different guest speakers throughout the term, which is nice to get that current real world experience. They'll come in and talk about not only big picture stuff, but their day to day. And we get a bunch of different angles, like Anne mentioned, Jesse Lane coming in talking about nonprofits. And we also got like Jeff Metzer coming in talking about how they build brands at P&G. So it's refreshing to get that real world insight. And what I liked about it was a lot of courses, a lot of different classes will bring in guest speakers that basically come in and reinforce what's already being taught in the course. But as we talked about the crowdsourcing aspect of this class, a lot of the class is built around what the guest speaker says rather than the guest speaker coming in and reinforcing what's already being taught. And so I think that's a really unique aspect of this course.
It's definitely one of my favorite parts. As you can tell, this class is not static. It changes every semester and it requires a lot of interactions with fellow students, with past students, with executives, guest speakers. And Jace is going to talk about the interactive aspect of this class.
Yeah, I mean, in any industry or any of your professional career, it's always about who you know, but also how you handle yourself with those relationships. This course, Rich Lawrence's leadership class, and then John Cole's selling and sales are all good examples of that, I thought, where they're bringing in former students or industry or professionals outside in the corporate world, and you kind of have the opportunity to build relationships there. Sophia was actually advising on our project where we did we were looking at Sam's Club snack bar aisle. So it's really cool, and you get the opportunity to interact with a lot of people outside of just the university setting. It's really important. And then the LinkedIn portion and the social media aspect of the class kind of provides a platform for you to see conversations outside of what we're learning in the classroom about the topics that we're talking about. And just I was touching on two things that came to mind just while we were going is the articles. One of the things we used to talk about was the Amazon Go stores, and they just announced last week they're opening a new trial store right outside of DC here, and that was something that we talked about in the class 3 years ago. Was Amazon they've already kind of reinvented how retailers do online business, and now they're with the Amazon Go, it's cardless. You just walk into the store and out, and so I just wanted to bring that up as well.
Thank you. So a couple of years ago, I started collaborating with the Network of Executive Women, their Northwest Arkansas chapter, and Jara Nally, Sally King, and now Holly Stabler have just been great partners of mine. And we created a concept called Retail Safari, and Madeline will tell you about that.
Yeah, so Retail Safari was by far my favorite project in college. Standing in the cereal aisle with the Walmart buyer and so many suppliers was such a unique opportunity. Seeing the dynamic between them, being able to witness firsthand what goes into bringing a product to the shelf, where it's placed, and how new items come to fruition, and so much more. It was really my first glimpse into the CPG world, like actually standing there, getting to interact with them, not to mention that I was interacting with potential employers in the midst of interviewing, which is a huge thing. And so very few college students get that kind of opportunity. And I think even looking back at it now, I have an even greater appreciation for the experience because I know how one of a kind it actually was.
It's a great part of the semester for me, and we'll be doing it this semester as well, although it may end up being virtual, but we will be virtually in the store if needed. And one of the newest aspects of the course, I actually piloted Connor's semester with just 2 or 3 people coming in virtually, but now we do it every single week in class, and it's, Madeline mentioned it, but we call it our Where Are They Now series. And Connor, if you could talk about that.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, it's so cool because I even remember now in hindsight, still following your Instagram from your class, and I'll scroll through and see, what current students are, doing with their careers now, what it looks like around their office. Sophia, who's on this call, I remember you a year ago on there showing us around General Mills. I'm seeing one guy draw mods on a, massive computer. And then I'm looking at another guy over here selling cereal. And then, some woman's over here doing something else, and I'm able to just get a vibe from what's General Mills like? What's the office like? What are people doing? How many monitors do they have? Just for different careers. And, at the end of the day, Walton students go all over the world and they do everything. And it's so hard to consume, all these different industries and what's the best match for you. So I think far more than just a career fair or, a quick snapshot on LinkedIn. It's awesome to have, a little tidbit to go chat with a, former student or hear them out on what they're doing and have an idea for a new industry so you can, look further and see if it's a good fit for you.
Well, I've loved hearing each of you talk about the various aspects of the course. I miss having you in class and wish that you were going to be back in our hallways, but I greatly appreciate that you've continued being a part of our Rapert Marketing faculty. I hope those of you watching have enjoyed this overview. I'm Molly Rapert. This is Walton Marketing, and this is How I Teach. Thanks.